Very good evening, everyone. We are thrilled to welcome each one of you here, and we trust that this session will contribute significantly to your professional journey. So, throughout this session, we'll be sharing insights, and to make it even more interactive, we have an engaging Q&A at the end. So, have your questions ready. Drop it in the chat box. Our team will be picking the questions, and we'll try to answer them all at the end. So, keep your questions ready. So, I'll be your host for the session and introducing our esteemed guest for the evening, Suchit Patel. Our speaker is the board member and the country manager for Wiser Solutions in India with over 17 years of expertise in HR and organizational development. So, welcome Suchit to the session.
Thank you, Divya.
Great. So, before we start with the agenda, for the people who have joined this session for the first time, I would like to introduce you guys to our Remote Revolution series. So, at Uplers, our mission is to streamline the hiring process, making it reliable, easy, and fast. And therefore, Remote Revolution is an initiative wherein we invite speakers from top notch companies like Twilio, GitLab, Atlassian, BrowserStack, and many more to share their insights on how these remote companies hire, their process, culture, values, interview tips, and remote readiness traits required by global brands. So, our mission behind this initiative is to upskill you guys to get a job in a top remote brand. So, moving forward to the session agenda, Sachit will take us through his journey. He'll share insights into his role. He'll talk about the unique culture at Wiser Solutions and his experience working with a remote team. Following that, we'll explore the intricate hiring process at Wiser Solution, and he'll tell us some tips and tricks for getting hired in a top remote brand. So, welcome Sachit. Without much ado, let's dive into the session. To start with, tell us something about your career journey, your role at Wiser Solution.
Sure, Divya. So first of all, thank you for letting me, be a part of this Uplers community. I have been doing a lot of research, and it has been, really creating a big impact, especially in this remote area. And I'm hoping it would be like this session would be more of an would also create a substantial impact for all the resources we have joined in over here. So moving forward, like for myself, I have to talk. Like I joined Visor a couple of years back. So it was again through a acquisition that we were a part of an earlier company called Numerator. One of the businesses was acquired by Visor, and at that time I was heading Numerator India HR, and I shifted to Visor as their country head over here. So currently, my major focus is into definitely the HR part, but ensuring that because Visor even before COVID was always working remotely. So, there was this remote culture inherited into this company, which made it very easy to, navigate through the COVID times because we had that robot infrastructure, all the, processes and everything in place. And my role over here is to ensure that, when we started this India journey 2 years back, it remains the same, or at least it gets improved, right? So that is my main aim over here, to ensure about the cultural aspect, the cross-cultural communications that we have. All those things are in line with the Visor culture, and also along with that, all those business needs, being a country manager. Overall, 17 years of experience. I started as a recruiter, moved through the levels, and now have joined as the country level. So it has been, I would say, an interesting journey with lots of ups and downs, a lot of adventures. That has given me a lot of learnings overall throughout my career, and that's where I am right now over here. In terms of expertise, I would say my major focus is always on the employee engagement side, because I think that is one of the most critical areas that anyone, and everything like you talk of organizational development or HR analytics or performance management, everything is part of employee engagement or employee experience. And that's where, looking at my overall experience, I thought of jotting down everything in a form of a book that I had released few months back by the name The Science of Employee Experience. This was specifically for people who believe in logics and data, to ensure why employee experiences is one of the key areas that any company should be focusing on. So it's a different twist I have tried to give in this book than from the regular employee experience books that you already have in the market. And along with that, I keep myself updated doing various refresher courses just to ensure that I'm not leaving behind on any of those things happening. So yeah, that's me.
Great. Excellent. Thank you, Suchit, for sharing your inspiring journey with us. Your distinguished journey, highlighted by global leadership and the publication of The Science of Employee Experience, showcases your dedication to innovation and empowering teams. So
Yeah,
great to have you here.
thank you.
Uh, yes. Learning about the company's history, industry reputation, and performance give us the insights into its stability and overall standing. Customizing up here like our applications and interviewing responses based on knowledge of the organization allows us to highlight specific skills and experiences that are most relevant to the company's needs. So, having said that, Suchit, could you just share some insights on Wiser Solution as an organization?
Right. So, Wiser as an organization, it's not a new startup, I would say. Like, it's a well-established company for it started back in 2013, so it's more than 10 years now that we have been into, and we have become the global leaders in this e-commerce execution. We basically provide SaaS services. You can also call it as PaaS services because we sell our products as a service. We are basically into the consumer insights business where we have a lot of our customers like some of the names like Amazon, Samsung, or Microsoft. So those are the sort of clients that utilize our data for making different customer decisions related to their product selling and everything. So we are more into the retail space, but along with that also into other areas as well. That's where Microsoft and everything comes in, as in terms of taking the decisions for their data. So our we work with more than 700 brands overall, which is increasing a lot. Like since last 2 years, we have increased it a lot. Uh, and in terms of employee strength, we have more than 500. Just to give you an idea, like before 2 years, when Wiser acquired Numerator, they were around 150, 180, and now we are 500 plus. So, we have been doing a lot of hiring and expansion in terms of organic and inorganic growths, acquiring small to mid-sized companies who are into, similar domain and similar products. And the main reason we are doing is we want to expand into different countries and ensure that the quality that we are providing, and that says a lot from our retention percentage, which we have for our customers, which is 95 plus. 95% plus. So, once the customer is with us, they generally don't leave us. And it's all because of, the type of, the quality of data that we give and the detail of insights that we give. And that also, gave us this Momentum Lever Award in 2023. We had also won similar awards in 2022. So it's not the first time, but it's for last 2 years that we have been winning these awards from G2. So that is making us proud and keeping us enthusiastic to ensure in what we are doing, we do it as the way it is supposed to be done. In terms of company culture, I would say that we are just a bunch of people working together in an established company with a good startup culture. So that's how I would keep it a simple thing. So though we are 10 plus mid-service level company, we ensure that the good startup culture where every responsibility is shared across everyone, all the team members are empowered to take decisions with respect to what they have been doing is being maintained. So that is the most important thing on how we have been working and what has been keeping us going till now. In terms of some data to give that what is helping us and what not, I would say that there are 1 billion plus daily data points that are being cataloged. So we have a big extraction team that regularly works on extracting the data from different websites, creating different bots and everything, and then those data are being analyzed through our inbuilt algorithms that are proprietary algorithms, I would say, that our data team has been creating, and which is providing us or yielding us the required results. Along with that, we are serving for more than 45 countries right now with major focus in Europe and US. And now we have recently started in Asia, but not exactly Asia, but I would say like the extended part of Asia, like Australia and New Zealand. We're also coming up in Singapore, I think, recently now. So, we are gradually expanding across different continents. Along with this, there are daily 600 plus daily store visits. So I'm not sure how many of you are aware about the mystery shopping concept. but that is one of the ways that you do surveys into different retail shops just to see, like, how the company's products are being placed, how they are being serviced, how they are being informed to the customers and all. So we have a lot of mystery surveyors with us across US and Canada right now, and some in Europe, who do this daily surveys into different stores to collect those data for us, and submit it through a mobile app that is our core app, proprietary app. Along with this, as I said, we have 700 plus customers. We have been acquiring them, as a part of acquisition. 500 plus employees, I already told, and then we have 130 million plus daily e-com page visits. So again, this is all done through the scrapping process, where a dedicated group of team is regularly managing the bots that are scrapping through the data from all this millions of daily e-com pages. So that's what Visor is all about. As I said, an established company with a good startup culture, to summarize.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this impressive stats about Wiser, highlighting their global reach with over 1 billion daily data points cataloged and operations in 45 plus countries. It's
Yeah.
really impressive. So, great. Moving on. Let's go on to our next slide. So, every company has its own unique culture, which includes its values, norms, beliefs, and practices.
Right.
Knowing the culture helps you determine whether you align with the company's value and whether your working style fits well within the organization. So, let's talk about the culture advisor. Over to you.
Yes, I mean, in terms of culture, I would say the biggest plus point that we have is, our focus on the diversity and inclusion. One of the major reasons is, we are a minority owned business. So, that mindset is there from the top, coming up, that, the diversity is and inclusion is one of the key areas. Plus, the belief that we only focus on skills and not particular demographics from where those are available has helped us to build this remote culture, where because we are just focusing on skills, it automatically has given us different it has strengthened our diversity and inclusion initiative. So that's how we have been working, and that's how all of our 500 employees are. Yes, the major employees are across US, Canada, Mexico, Madagascar, France, India, Australia now. And then we also have few remote employees into different countries, like we have some of them in Poland, we have some in Pakistan, we have some in Eastern Europe, again other than Poland. So now all remote hires. So we just basically believe in skills that we hire for, and that's where we are spread across different. And probably that is also one of the reasons why we are so efficiently able to serve these 45 plus countries, because we have been hiring resources remotely. They are helping us in different ways to manage that. Again, we are not a company who is focusing only on the sort of work all. We definitely believe the theme of not only work but work hard, party harder. We actually do that. There are a lot of initiatives that happen across different countries. Some of them are global, some of them are at country level, some of them are even at city level. Like so, if I talk of we in Vadodara, we have an office space. So there are a lot of employees who come in office. So over there we have some in-house events that we keep on having. We also have some remote, because a lot of our engineers are remote. Probably I would say 80% of our engineers are remote right now in India. So there are a lot of remote activities that also takes place just to ensure that there is this momentum going on and they are not feeling disconnected. So a lot of different initiatives, not only in terms of the typical engagement activities, but hardcore people engagement initiatives in terms of to keep checking them on how they have been doing about their mental health, about their physical health, how they are doing with the work, are they coping up any stress or anything. So all this side of, we have different initiatives, different monthly connects, frequent connects that we keep on having to ensure that everyone is having a platform to speak about, right, whatever they want to speak in. So we believe in a very open and transparent culture, where a person from the most bottom, like even an office assistant can directly speak with the CEO. There is no hierarchy. We don't believe in hierarchy. So, I know many of people say this stuff, but we actually do it. And that's where I can say it very confidently. They know that's how our culture is, very relaxed, very supportive. We always believe in the healthy work-life balance. And, every survey that we do, we ensure that, we are working on the action plan from the points that we are getting. So if I have to talk in one word, it's like, it's all about diversity, collaboration, and work that matters for us. So that's how Wiser culture is. And in terms of, how we have defined this culture is the basis of the four values that we have. And, all these values are in line with how to ensure a remote team can work efficiently, right? So whenever we are hiring remotely, there are four major points that we are looking out in any employee or any candidate: dedication, action towards the work that is required, teamwork, because they are going to be remote. Teamwork is one of the most important thing, and then adaptability, because again we work with cross cultural teams. So adaptability is one of the most important aspect to ensure that not only the you are able to work with the other people, but also able to understand their way of working, because sometimes the managers are from India, the team is from outside. Sometimes the team is from India, the managers are from outside. Sometimes it's cross, like everyone is from different 3 or 4 different countries working together in one project, right? So adaptability is at the core. So we have also termed it like our point as a short form of our values is data, DATA, which D is for dedication, A is for action, T is for teamwork, and again A is for adaptability. What our company is doing into data, our core value is also, we call it as the data, dedication, action, teamwork, and adaptability. So these are the four core values that we work on and we look for any candidate that we have from the non-technical perspective.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing insights into Wiser Solution, vibrant culture, and everything. So let's move to the next slide, which is the interview process. So in this slide, Suchit will be discussing about the interview process at Wiser. So for the people who are looking out to apply in Wiser can have their questions ready in the chat box. And Suchit, over to you.
Sure. So, in terms of interview process, I would say that we are not one of the easiest companies. Like we have multiple rounds of interviews that we do, because while we hire remotely, we want to ensure that we are hiring for the top-notch talent, because we don't want to over hire people, but want to hire people who are efficient enough to work on the level of or the quality of projects that we work for. And that's where our interview process, like of course the first round is the typical recruiter screening round, where the recruiter reviews the profiles based on the job description and screens them. But the critical aspect starts in the step two, where step two consists of a different number of rounds depending on the role. So if it's a principal engineer or a technical architect role, it would involve 7 to 8 rounds, because we want that person to meet different people with whom they would be working across different domains, ranging from engineering to the product team to the management team, because that person would be running across all these teams. If it's a simple full stack engineer role, probably 4 rounds. But also, like, they are not those typical discussions where you ask questions and get answers. We believe in more of the practical aspect of it, and that's where, like, I would say majority of our rounds that we have, like probably all the rounds except the HR rounds, will have a parallel coding challenge associated with each round, depending on the level of or the person that they are meeting. If it's a role full stack engineer, we would have 3 to 4 rounds, one for full front end, one for back end, one for the infrastructure side. Different people would be coming in. There would be a lot of parallel coding rounds that would be happening, which the employees will need to go through. Of course, these are very time bounded, so they are 30 to 45 minutes of rounds. It's not that we extend along, but we, like we always believe that as many people as you can meet during the interview would help you in understanding the company culture. whether you are going into the right company or not. Talking to just one or two is not going to help you. So that's where we have kept more rounds. I We have got some feedback from the candidates that there are a big number of rounds is there, but you have deliberately kept it because our aim is to ensure that a person before joining is very well versed with the type of culture that the person is coming into. So that's where the step two comes in with 4 to 5 rounds, each with parallel coding and everything. And then the third step is just like all the hiring managers or the interviewers get in touch with each other. We discuss and we pass on the feedback to the candidate, whether they have passed or the reason for which they are not able to pass. So that's how our interview process is. It's slightly different from the regular ones, but it's working well for us. So yeah, that's about the interviewing process.
Great. Thank you for sharing your valuable information with our audience. So, moving on, many candidates express that while jobs are available, the process of finding and securing one can be daunting. Based on your extensive experience, could you provide some insights on how to navigate and succeed in this process?
So I think the most important point while looking for a remote job is first, and which we have experienced in a lot of candidates, is that you need to be mentally ready to do a full-time remote job, because for us it's not hybrid, it's remote. And we see a lot of people like after 6 months or 8 months they would say that they want to come back and do a job from the office, but then it's not possible for us. So first is to understand whether you are built for a remote role or not, or whether you are built for a hybrid or an in-office role. Once you clear that you are built for an ideal remote job, you need to specify the type of industry or role or your working style that you would like, whether you're looking for a collaborative style of working, or whether you're looking for an independent IC type of a role, individual contributor type of a role, because that would also define a lot in terms of looking out for the job. One of the key aspects when you're looking out for a remote job is to ensure that your profile or your resume has three important points mentioned in it, along with data. One is communication, because second is time management, and third is self motivation. Because I think when you're doing a remote job, these are the three important aspects which any candidate needs to look into, because everything what you are going to do is either through a video call or a phone call or an email communication or a chat, right? So there is nothing going to be like a face-to-face interaction or anything. So communication plays one of the most critical aspect. So you need to learn about communicating. And when I say communicating, it's not only verbal communication, but verbal and non-verbal both. So your body language, your gestures that you do over video calls or something, the way you communicate, whether you are direct upfront, however you do. So that is one of the most important things. Second, time management, because a lot of companies, the reason why many of the companies have started moving from remote towards in-house or hybrid is the issue of time management, right? So candidate needs to ensure that time management is one of the most critical aspect that they need to take care of while working. They need to define their core working hours. They need to communicate it with their managers or the team to ensure that they are aligned with those time zones that they are working in. Because remote job, I would say, is mostly dependent on the trust factor. No one is going to track like how many hours you are working, but it's more about the output that you are providing in the given timeline or not. So your discipline and your time management is only going to help you in ensuring that you are able to provide it. So time management is one of the most critical factors. And then self motivation, because you are alone over there working remotely. You would have limited time to communicate with your colleagues or come friends on a daily basis. You would be there just working with yourself. So a self motivation is one of the most important fact, or one of the most important criteria to ensure that you are self motivated enough to work on your own, just from a place and not able to meet your colleagues, right? And then if you're talking of, remote job platforms, I would say there are so many remote job platforms now coming up, and even the standard job platforms are coming up with filters which are related to, remote or hybrid and everything. If you're talking of, permanently remote, then flex jobs or remote.co, these are a couple of two top websites where you can go and find out for the remote roles. But then now I would say even companies like, even platforms like naukri.com or LinkedIn are coming up with these features where you can search for the remote roles over there. And of course, definitely the company career pages is again one of the important thing. uh, Other than that, one of the key aspects when you are trying to decide, or when you have decided to go for a remote job, is your networking skills. You need to really activate your network and tell across your references or your friends that you are really looking out for a remote role, and any such opportunity that they have should pass it on to you, because it's not always that you would be able to find it the right way. So definitely networking across it and communicating it loud about your preferences is one of the key aspects. And then the most important aspect is acing the job interview, right? Remote job interview, because you have very specific time when you would be in front of the screen. So you need to ensure on those three aspects that I was talking about earlier: communication, self discipline, and self motivation and time management. So you need to ensure that you are speaking a lot about this three or four things along with your technical skills, because the interviewer is going to judge you on this three or four aspects. Technical skills is something a lot of companies are now also looking in a way that if you are, say, 80% match or 70% match, they can train you. But if they find that the other areas like this time management or discipline or the communication, if that is not very clear or they are not confident about it, you may not get the remote job. So these are the most critical aspects that we have been looking into the candidates that we have been interviewing, and also hearing from different people in my network when they are hiring for remote roles. These have been the most critical points. uh, Technical focus, I would say, is there, but their major focus is on these three skills to ensure that they are able to showcase their abilities towards this point. So I think those are the tips that I would say from my experience. Of course, along with this, there are very typical that check your bandwidth, your camera quality, whether it's proper, the opposite person is able to see or not, because we don't know how the hiring managers are, whether they would give you the second chance or not, or there are a lot of different factors, whether they are able to hear you properly or not. So ensure that your online presence is proper. It's not something which you can let go of, or you can say that if it's not there it would be okay. No, it would not be okay, especially when you're talking of remote, because then the question might also come at the later stage that if it's network connectivity or such issues are there right now, what about once they get the job? So these are very typical questions that comes in the interviewer's mind when you are meeting them for the first time or the second time. So ensure that you have this. Plus a simple tip: keep a professional background. You need to ensure that there is no distraction in your background that the interviewer might get distracted, or that may distract yourself during the interview. So a clean background is the most important aspect. And then try to do what I would say a practice session with your friend or your colleague, on a video call, and see, like, if you're coming out good, record those sessions, listen to those sessions yourself, and try to hear and see that if that is something you would like to, or if the point that you were trying to convey, have you conveyed it that way or not, right? So those practice sessions are also important to fine tune your skills, to ensure that you're going into the profile or the interview fully prepared. So I think these are some small tips, but very important tips that right now people are going through, or people are missing out, actually, rather I would say, by enhancing the job interview, remote role specifically. Right.
Great. Thank you so much for answering that. So now we have our next slide, which talks about the open roles at Wiser
Yeah.
Solutions. So over to you, Suchit.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of the open roles, we have like three senior full stack engineer roles that are right now open with us. So one, and these are all on Uplers website. So, anyone can go over there and look into these roles along with our website. These roles are specifically like different skills. So one role is where we are specifically looking for someone with Perl experience, Perl scripting experience, along with the AWS cloud computing experience. And the two other openings are more of the regular full stack with Node.js, AngularJS front end, and AWS. So all these are the type of roles that they will be working on many of our core product development, where they would be working with again cross-cultural teams. It's not a type of maintenance roles that we are looking for. We don't have maintenance projects, right? So they are all core development projects that we are looking into. So we are really looking out for candidates who have that expertise of working on core products, on core platforms, building in those scripts. Uh, Senior full stack engineers, so definitely looking for someone with 5+ years of experience across any of the skill sets that we are looking into. It can go up to the range. What we are looking out is for the best of the talent, because we have a big plan. A lot of integration needs to happen from a lot of acquisitions that we did, and we are coming up with an entire suite of products which we are calling it Z 2.0. And for that, we are looking out for solid technical engineers to help us build those products and meet our roadmap. So these are the three openings for now that we have. We all know how the market is moving right now. So
We have come to the end of this presentation. So it was wonderful talking to you about all these things. Now we have some questions in our chat box. We'll pick them and let's discuss it.
yeah.
So we have got a question which is what is the process of like what is the interview process for a data engineer advisor?
So again, it is sort of similar. If I'm talking of a data engineer, we have around 4 rounds of interviews where they meet different level of people. So the senior managers in data engineering, again, there is a parallel coding challenge in data engineering roles as well. So 2 rounds of parallel coding, and then the direct one round with the director level, to ensure that they are aware of the product, the type of responsibilities that they would be working in, what is the expectation out of them. So these are going to be the 3 rounds and the one HR round that we have. So that is what, again, these are all remote roles. We don't have any opening for now, unfortunately, the data engineering, but even when we would have, they would be remote roles in India.
Okay. So the next question is what is the application format at Wiser and the length of screening, like during the screening time, what's the length of the whole process?
So the application process is very simple. Just visit any our website or LinkedIn, and just go and apply. We have our ATS linked with it, so it would just ask some basic questions. You can just upload your profile, and it would do the parsing itself with all the details that we require. So that's it from the candidate side. In terms of the entire length, as I said, depending on the role that it can take from 2 weeks to 4 weeks of time, depending on the seniority of the role. In terms of the initial response, we generally try to respond within 48 hours with an initial update whether the profile is moving forward or it's a reject based on certain reasons. But then if it moves ahead, then the recruiter gets in touch, the talent acquisition specialist gets in touch with the candidate and explains them the entire process along with the duration, the number of rounds, what is going to happen in each round, so that they can prepare themselves and then take it ahead from there. So yeah, as I said, it could range from 2 weeks to 4 weeks depending on the seniority level.
Great. So, as you were discussing about how to practice for the interview, so we have a question which says, do we have any like online platform for practicing the interview?
Uh, to be very frank, I'm not aware of any good platforms to say that, whether they are, but there are a lot of mentors available. One of the good sites where you can get mentorship in this sort is TopMate. It is one of the very good sites where you will get a lot of good mentors who can help you in preparing yourself for this sort of in remote interviews. And I have a few friends of mine who are there on TopMate. You find a lot of managers at different level, a lot of senior HR people who train you, mentor you, guide you in preparing yourself for any type of interviews that you have. So that is one site which comes to my mind right now, and which I'm seeing a lot of positive results lately coming out from my network.
Okay, so we have another question, which is, how do you keep up with the latest advancements in AI, and what experience do you have working with AI tools?
So, I mean, if it's particular to me, then I would say I'm not a core technical person, but I do keep myself updated with AI. I have a lot of subscriptions that I have made over LinkedIn for different speakers, and then I keep on updated with Forbes magazine because and Harvard, because I think those are the two very regularly updated sites from where you get a lot of details about any advancements that are happening in any of the fields. And then I think with this sort of tools like ChatGPT and Gemini, you just ask them the questions and then they would give you the more updates on whatever the advanced developments are. So I think those are the ways that I keep myself regularly updated about what's going on new.
Great. So, we have another question, which is, what skills or characteristics make someone an effective hybrid or remote worker?
As I said during the question earlier presence, right, during the remote role, the key skills that anyone looks for is the responsiveness, your communication. So definitely it becomes a part of your communication, your time management, and discipline. I would say these are the three skills which any person looks into, because any remote role you take, it works on the basis of trust. And you can only gain trust of someone when you are responsive to them, when you complete your work on time, and when you are disciplined enough to be available whenever there is a call. Or you keep the entire team updated about your task, whether you are going to be there or you are not going to be there, available for the next hour or so. So I think it's all about these three skills, according to me. That if you master it, you would be a good remote or a hybrid, resource for any company.
Great. So, we have another question, which is, career break candidates are eligible for remote jobs?
Yeah. I mean, career break is what? It's nothing, like it's just, the break could be for different reasons, and that's no reason for not hiring anyone. In fact, we have a lot of people who come in with career breaks. So I think for us, and I think a lot of now companies are only looking more into the skill set. I think most important thing is, like, even if you are on a career break, is to ensure that you are keeping yourself updated with what's going on in the latest trends in the market. It should not be that if there's a for an example, if there's a career break of 2 years, you need to ensure that you are upgrading yourself in those 2 years with the latest trends. If you are not able to showcase that during the interview, then it could be an issue for you to get hired. So career break is not an issue, but not upgrading yourself during a career break could be an issue.
Okay. So, for any position which is open for India, so should we reside only in India, or we can apply from outside India also?
No, so because of different statutory compliances, laws, and legislation, so right now, for if the role is in India, then we hire only from India. But we do have remote roles available in different countries. These are just that I have highlighted in India. We have some roles open in US, some in Canada. So a couple of them in Europe as well. So if you are residing in any of those countries where we have those open roles, then you can apply over there. You can even reach out to me and I can refer you for those roles in those countries where you are residing and we have an opening. So that can be done, is how I can help. But yeah, for you to be associated with us in India, you need to be in India.
Okay, so again, a question which is, are there enough or some good companies where skills over experience would be preferred?
I mean, there are a lot of companies. I mean, a lot of new startups or new age companies do not look into experience. Like, you look at their positioning at senior level, you will see people with 14, 13 years of experience leading their companies, right? If I talk of myself at 17 years, I'm leading this. It's not something that you see regularly. So I think it's more about skill set applying in new age companies with this sort of mindset, and that you can only get an idea once you look at their feedback. I think Fishbowl is one of the very good platforms where you can go and understand about the company culture, the company mindset and everything by discussing with the various employees over there, because it's an anonymous platform. You don't need to identify yourself over there. So you can always, whichever company you are interested or trying to get knowledge about, you can go over that Fishbowl and just discuss with the employees over there that what is this. You can ask whatever question you want and they will answer you. Some or the other person will answer you. So I think it's more about understanding the company culture by doing some research, and you will get the answer for your company.
Great. So we have another question, which is, how often are the vacancies available for data engineer, data science, or data analysts?
So, as I said, we are a product company. So it's not that we have very frequent openings. It's only in case that there is a major expansion or a rapid roadmap is being developed, is where we will have frequency. Otherwise, I would say a role like a data engineer or something probably might come once in 6 months or something. Because I mean, we don't have a higher attrition rate as well, where a backfill might open up. So that is also one of the reasons why there would be less openings coming up.
Okay, so I have a question, which is, like, for example, if we have two candidates and one has an experience of working remotely previously, and the other candidate is maybe he has not worked remotely. So which, like, is there any preferences in this, or it's just we prefer the experience over this thing?
No, I think it's going to be more of experience, because doing remote can only help you for like in terms of skill set. It's always going to take priority over whether you are remote or you have been working from office for now. So how well you perform in the interview will define. If it's if both are equal, then probably a remote employee might get a preference, just because he or she is already dwelled into that culture of being remote. But then on the other hand, we may also think of getting someone who has not worked to give them experience. But then they may come up with a different set of challenges. So till the skill set, if both are equal, yes, the preference will go for someone who is remote. But otherwise it would be more on a skill basis, because at the end, when you are remote, productivity matters. So if you are expert, like your expertise is more, even though you are a regular office going person, you would be hired for a remote role.
Great. So now we see many remote opportunities on LinkedIn and various other websites. So how can we check the authenticity of remote company?
Uh, as I said, platforms like Glassdoor or Fishbowl can help you check the authenticity by talking with the employees of those companies. You would be able to get it. Plus, there are a lot of if the company, because they are registered in India, you can also go on the MCA portal and check about that company's legal registration. If it's a private limited company, you will have the entire list of directors and their finances over there to ensure you that it's an authentic company. It's not a fraud or something. So statutory websites are always the good websites to check the authenticity, and then to check how big or how the culture and everything is about that company, you can go to these platforms like Glassdoor and Fishbowl.
Okay.
So it's Ministry of Communication Affairs, so Corporate Affairs. So it's MCA, where you can go and just type in the name of the company and you will get all the details.
Great. Thank you for answering that. So, while preparing our resume for while applying on like in a new company or anything like that, so how can we align our resume with our personal brand and LinkedIn profile to get noticed?
I think, see, one thing to understand is now most of the companies, the first screening is done actually by the ATS, right? It's not done by the recruiters. So what the resume when you build needs is to be aligned with the job description that you are applying for. So for an example, you can have 3 or 4 sets of resume, 3 or 4 different resume, because you may be an expert in 5 different skills, but if a company is for example looking for a Node.js expert, and if your profile talks more about AngularJS, then the ATS or the applicant tracking system will parse your CV in such a way that it will show that low matching score for your profile, even though you have Node.js, but because you have not mentioned it more. So I think the first step to create a proper or a good resume is to ensure that your resume is customized to the job description available on the website, so that the applicant tracking system can map it with the key skills mentioned in the job description with your profile and give you a higher score for a recruiter to review it. So it doesn't matter if it's aligned with LinkedIn or not. LinkedIn, again, it's a personal branding. You can have a lot more things written on LinkedIn, but not necessarily you may want to write everything on the resume. Or, even if you want, you would like to edit at the last, because your first 2 pages or the first page has to have all the details that the job description is looking for, a summary of all, so that it catches the eye of recruiter. Because any recruiter, it's a well said thing, and which is a fact, is any recruiter will only screen for 20 seconds a profile. So if they don't get it in first 20 seconds, your resume go away, right? So that's most important is to align with the job description.
Great. So, we have another question, which is how can managers support their remote teams in staying productive and engaged?
I think it's, as I said, it's not that all work should happen. Like along with the managers, there needs to be some sessions which are not working if they are more of team bonding activities that are coming up, regular one-on-ones, catch-up calls with the employees, where you don't discuss about your work, but you discuss about your professional aspirations or your personal thing, if you are comfortable to discuss with the managers, and if the managers are okay to discuss that. So I think those sort of one-on-one sessions, then some team building activities nowadays, because so many companies are there on remote. There are various websites that you can get into, like Kahoot or quiz.com, where you can play different games, interactive games, where you form different teams and play together and build those rapport. And then of course, every few months there has to be one team outing where everyone meet up for a day or two to discuss about, probably a day can be for the product roadmap or something, and a day can be just for be with your friends or colleagues. So there are different ways that a manager can be, like the manager can ensure that the team is inspired about it. Also, one of the most important thing is recognition, doing team recognition at a global level or a group level. Whenever someone is doing a good thing, that needs to be appreciated at a team level at least. That motivates the team, that if I would do something good, that would be coming up. So those are some of the best practices to ensure that there is a team bonding. So one-on-ones, this recognitions, team building activities, all these things helps a team to regularly. And then day, I would say, even a daily stand-up call for just 5 minutes. You don't need to spend much time, but just a 5-minute call can have a quick overview of the entire team. You can see your colleagues, you can see the manager can see everyone. So all these different things help the team in staying together. Different companies, different cultures, different scenarios, but these are some of the base things that any manager can implement.
Yes, thanks for answering that. So we have another question, which is what is the future of AI in remote careers?
Well, I mean, it's a very vast question. I would say there is no specific answer to it, because AI and remote jobs does. I mean, there is no connection as per, like, because it depends on what type of remote job you are going. If you are an engineer, your job is going to stay. Probably your responsibilities might change, but the job is not going anywhere. If you are into data entry, AI is definitely going to take over data entry jobs with a lot of automations and everything happening. So, and it's a fact. So, and that's where you need to keep yourself upgraded with something which is more complicated, because AI is still in a very kindergarten stage, I would say. A lot of development is still required for it to function at optimum level. It is showing signs of development or getting matured quickly, but still it will take some time. So I think engineers should not worry. But if you are only a coder or developer, you may want to upgrade yourself to an engineer.
Yes. So while while some people are applying for while selecting people for a leadership role, like what is like the interview process and everything, what all changes are there while hiring a person for leadership role?
Sorry, can you just repeat the question?
Yeah, while you hiring for a leadership role, any person for a leadership role, what is your go-to mantra kind of that?
I mean, a go-to mantra is less technical and more of non-technical skills that we look out for a management or a leadership role. Definitely, the person needs to be keeping themselves abreast with the latest trends and technologies that are going in, which can be, useful for the company's products. The understanding about the company's vision is one of the key aspect, how the that person is able to align his or her goals with the company's goal. So that is again a key thing. Nowadays, I think one of the key skills that even at a leadership role is being looked out is whether they have managed a remote team. Because a lot of companies have remote employees now, or a group of employees who are remote. So definitely that experience, because if someone is not having that experience at the leadership level, it becomes very difficult for them to manage a team. So someone with experience in remote team is again something which is very much looked into. And then as I said, keeping, if they have kept abreast themselves with the latest trends and technologies and are able to align their own personal goals to the company goals, then they have a good chance of getting hired.
Okay, thank you. We have another question, which is not having PF account, previously worked in a startup with career break of 2 years. So what what a person can do to be fit for a remote work there?
I mean, not having a PF account or something does not, I mean, there is no relation with the remote work as for me. I think it's all about the skill set. If the 2 years of experience that you had worked is not aligned with the new role that you're looking into, I would say start as a fresher. And just apply as a fresher to any work that is aligned to the new role that you are looking for. PF account, again, it depends on the sort of startup. If it didn't have more employees, they would have not registered for it. So there are a lot of different reasons why it's not there. So I think it's more on the skill set. If you have that right skill set, the quality is technical and non-technical, to be able to fit into a remote role.
Okay, thank you. So let's take the last question for today, which is while working remotely, what things we should learn or unlearn?
While working, so first thing is, when you are working remotely and you have not worked remotely earlier, then you should start becoming self-dependent or self-independent, because you are not going to have your colleagues around. to check on each and every question that you may have while you are working at office. So that is one of the most important thing, is to be self independent, uh, able to motivate self. So self motivation, as I said, because no one is going to there to talk to you. You are going to be confined in your room, in front of a screen for 8 hours, 10 hours, so a lot of things are changing. So it's self motivation to keep going, focusing more on the work. Those are some of the things I think that are required when you are changing yourself from uh, in office role to a remote role. Plus, yes, as I said earlier, communication. You need to improve on your communication, because when you are in office, you may communicate in a different way, or you may communicate twice or thrice, but that would not happen once you are remote, because everything is going to be either in written, like, or verbal. There is no face-to-face interaction every time. So I think those are some of the skills that you may want to unlearn and relearn on how to do it well when you are in remote role.
Great. Thank you so much. And with this, let's end the session. And thank you so much, Sushit. Your insights have been invaluable, and we want to express our sincere gratitude for generously sharing your time to contribute to the growth of our community. We truly appreciate your efforts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Ruchir. It was really great connecting. Thank you
Great.
all
So,
for joining.
yeah, for our joiners, we have some upcoming steps to participate in future insightful sessions, and please be sure to register on Uplers. And for the people who have questions which were unanswered, you can join our Discord community. You'll I'm sure Suchit will be joining our community, and you can discuss there any questions you want to ask. We can discuss it over there. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for updates, and we eagerly anticipate hosting more sessions and reconnecting with you in your future. Big thank you to everyone.
Thank you.